What's up? What's up? And welcome to Just Be Humans, the definitive podcast for business leaders who have built their businesses through relationships and are looking to digital marketing to scale those relationships. I'm your host, Danny Murawinski, and in today's episode, we're going to jump right in hardcore, and this is my opening line. Fuck digital marketing. That's right. I said it. Fuck digital marketing. I'm going to unpack that throughout this episode, but it's something that I'm pretty passionate about and one of the exact reasons why I even started up a digital marketing agency in the first place. So let's take a look at the legacy. That's what I'm calling traditional style digital marketing agencies, the legacy industry, which is true. It's legacy now, the way that these companies are running it. And I got some good proof to kind of back this, right? But let's talk about the legacy digital marketing agencies and why I'm out here saying fuck digital marketing. So I want to reference two specific industries, and these are industries that my company Exabuilt specifically focuses in on, which is the government contracting industry and the cleaning industry. Now, in both industries, we've seen a slower adoption rate than other industries in terms of adopting modern day digital marketing practices. So as I started to learn more about these industries, I realized that there's two core humanistic virtues or emotions, if you will, that are preventing these industries from taking the leap. The first in the GovCon space is fear. There's a lot of fear around putting out information on social media, and rightfully so. I mean, you think about that industry, people have top security clearances, they're dealing with sensitive information. They don't necessarily want to be out in the limelight. But that industry collectively as a whole knows the power that digital marketing actually has. And when you understand the power of that industry, which is, in my opinion, probably the most powerful industry in the entire world, then there is a very sound, solid play for that industry to start to adopt digital marketing practices, but they're fearful of it. They're fearful of their data. They're fearful of the results. They're fearful of getting in the limelight. They're fearful of giving away company sensitive information. So I do get that. And I have a lot of empathy towards that. And I think a lot of that fear, the byproduct of fear is doubt, right? And that's where the cleaning industry comes into play. See, the cleaning industry is actually leaps and bounds ahead of the government contracting industry in terms of adoption rates of digital marketing practices. The problem there is that there's an overwhelming amount of doubt that it actually works. And as I started to think about, and I put my flag in the ground and said, okay, I'm going to go revolutionize these industries with digital marketing. The more I got involved with businesses, especially like the higher end businesses, the businesses that are kind of leading these industries, and I started to unpack why they're not using these practices or why they're turning back on their budgets on this, I've realized these are the two core issues. And when you start to understand and think even further, so why is there so much doubt in the cleaning industry? Why is there so much fear coming out of the government contracting industry? And I can't help but look at the legacy digital marketing industry. And it's legacy now, guys. It's the business model that these businesses practice day in and day out. That's the reason why I'm out here saying, fuck digital marketing. It's the business model. So let's break that down. What is the business model of legacy digital marketing? Well, the companies that have been servicing it, there's 60,000 plus in the U.S. or actually in the world that service businesses through digital marketing, right? And the vast, vast, vast majority of them are very good at onboarding clients. They make it fairly seamless to get to start doing work with you. And then they try to retain clients, right? And the way that this model works is typically there's some type of an onboarding fee that you pay as a customer. And then there's an ongoing monthly fee that goes back to the digital marketing company. Well, if that is it, and there's no other incentives going back to the digital marketing company to actually produce results, well, what incentive are they left with? Well, they're left with the incentive to do less work for their customers. Think about it. If I'm charging $5,000 a month for a particular service, and that's the cap that I'm going to make within that business line, and there's no real clear set KPIs, or my company isn't privy to what the strategic goals are, or so on and so forth, then we're left at our own devices as a digital marketing agency to report back on the work that we're doing. So we report back through the way of vanity metrics. We look at organic growth, look at all the new leads that are coming in through websites, look at the follower count, look at the engagement rates, right? Like these metrics do matter, but without associating them to revenue generating metrics or tying that back, they actually don't matter to the customer. So what digital marketing agencies do is, and you've probably experienced this, if you're a business owner or a business leader who's worked with legacy digital marketing companies, you have 100 or 1,000% experience this. The first 60 days to 90 days of the engagement, the company is very engaged. They're answering your calls, they're proactively reaching out, they're coming up with ideas. And after that, 60 to 90 day window, interactions start to slow down. They start engaging with you once every 2 weeks, or maybe once a month, or maybe even once a quarter. In some cases, I've heard digital marketing companies only reach out once or twice a year. Isn't that crazy to think about? And companies are paying them. So what are they doing on the back end? Well, if that's the only incentive, and being the fact that we're in business to make money, guys, like whether you're a digital marketing agency or you're a cleaning industry business or you're a government contracting business, if you are a nonprofit, or if you are a for-profit, I should say, and not a nonprofit, you are in business to make money. So are the digital marketing agencies. And trust me, I like making money just as much as the next person. But what ends up happening is if you have a fixed rate contract, well, then the goal is to service that contract as little as possible, use as little time, as little company resources and time to fulfill on that contract, thus increasing the profit margin. So over time, these agencies are actually incentivized to do less work for you. And it's written clear as day. Maybe it's not written out in the contract, but look at the business model. I mean, you guys are business savvy. A lot of my audience, a lot of you have built wildly successful businesses, or you're a part of wildly successful businesses. We're working with FTSE 100s, Fortune 500s. These companies have figured it out. So when you break down, yet you'll hire these legacy agencies with this business model staring you in the face saying that, hey, over time, we're going to do less work for you because that's how we're incentivized to make more money. So how do you fix it? Right? Like, how do you fix this fixed price with no incentives to that company for performance? Well, there's been a shift in digital marketing, and you're probably starting to see some of this, which is the pay-per-performance model, or what's also known as the growth partner model. Now, there are a handful of companies out there that are fully adopting this, and they're guaranteeing crazy results, right? We'll pack your calendar full of 100 new customers, otherwise you don't pay, and stuff like that. And I think that that's heading in the right direction. But here's the truth of the matter, the problem with that. And I think most digital marketing agencies would agree with me on this. A lot of businesses, and I'm talking about some of the biggest businesses in the world that you would be mind blown to know that they don't have a sophisticated digital marketing system in place, but a lot of businesses don't have a sophisticated digital marketing system in place. So if there is no sophisticated system, and then you're asking a company, a digital marketing agency, to take on all the risk of them just trying to make your existing legacy system work to befit your goals, it's probably going to fail. And that's a big, big problem there too. So how do you adjust this? How do you fix this legacy look at the world? So here's how we're doing it. And this is literally, I think, probably at the root of my soul and core of why I believe we're going to be able to make a big impact on both these industries, and in the process, ultimately change the way digital marketing is actually done in service for these companies. So like anything in business, you have to get strategic alignment from multiple different departments if you're if you're about to undergo a growth incentive, right? If you're going to grow the business through digital marketing, if you're going to grow through top line revenue, if you're going to grow through branding, so on and so forth, right? You have to align that initiative with corporate strategy, with the sales team, and with the marketing team. All three parties need to be aligned. And in some cases, we even need to align operations. And in some cases, it goes beyond that. We need to align finance and so on and so forth. Without that alignment, that corporate alignment, any new initiative is going to fail. And I think you guys have seen that. Everybody here has experienced it when we just go off and like, look, I'm a business owner. I get it. I love shiny objects. And I think a lot of business owners do. It's probably the biggest challenge that we have as business owners is to say no and to keep focused, right? It's very easy to see other opportunities and missed opportunities as you go deeper into your craft. So we tend to see a shiny object, and in some cases, a lot of cases in digital marketing, it might be a glimmer of hope or something that happens, right? And then all of a sudden we're off to the races. We say, go do it. Oh, we need SEO. Go get SEO. Oh, okay, I'll go get SEO. And then they go find the agency and they go, okay, what's within our budget? So then it becomes a pricing game and we commoditize the actual service. And we go, okay, well, what are we getting for it? What are we paying for it? Blah, 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 blah. We'll vet out a couple different companies. We'll look at their past performance. Do they have any type of alignment with our kind of business? Have they done similar type of work in our kind of industry? So on and so forth. And then we go, okay, we're going to pick the best one that's the cheapest, that offers the most. But the business model is still incentivized for them to do the least amount of work for you, regardless of their past performance and regardless of what they say and do. Look at the business model. Look at the incentives. So how do you quell that? The way that we're doing it is before we enter into an actual campaign, before we enter into spending your hard-earned money on ads and things of that nature, we're going to do a rapid alignment. We're going to do an audit of your existing systems, and we're going to do a strategic roadmap alignment session with your team. And then, like I mentioned before, it's not just your digital marketing team, it's a holistic team, your revenue team, okay, to align all the way up to the corporate level. Once we do that, then we issue out a statement of work. Now, the statement of work for us is also backed by a pay-per-performance model for us. So here's the truth. If digital marketing agencies are so good at their craft, then it's incumbent on you, the business owner, to go to your existing agency and ask them and say, hey, Mr. Digital Marketing or Mrs. Digital Marketing Agency, question for you. Would you be willing to forego your monthly fee for us if we offered you a percentage of the actual revenue that you brought into the company? And like, as the business owner, you could be like, I'm happy to work that out and figure out the number. At that point, that conversation becomes a very simple math equation for you to understand, okay, if I'm paying them $5,000 a month, how many sales do I need to bring in? What kind of percentage can I give off of that I'm comfortable with? And then that's the KPI, that's the number. If the agency says no, then two things are happening. One of two things, I should say. First is either that digital marketing agency doesn't believe that they can actually produce results for you. That's one red flag. But on the other side of it, and I think more digital marketing agencies would agree with me on this end, they're going to say you don't have the right system in place for us to feel comfortable on taking on that risk. If that's truly the case, they probably should have told you that at the start of their engagement, right? Like, doesn't that make sense? Versus just saying, oh, almighty customer, you tell me what you want us to do, and we'll just go off in our corner and we'll do it. And don't ask questions. Here's some reports. Here's some reports. Here's some metrics. Here's some metrics. It's okay. It's okay. Look. Oh, no. Pay the bill. Pay the bill. Pay the bill. Like, come on, guys. So it's one of those two things. It's either they don't believe that they can do it and actually move the needle for your business, or they don't believe you have the right system in place. That's what we're doing, right? So like, we're like, okay, we get that problem. So we need the right system for us to take on a purely pay-per-performance model. And we need to own that system. And I can tell you right now, you ask anybody on my team, that if we had full control over any one of these given different digital marketing campaigns, we would produce results. And we're willing, if we have that control, we're willing to take on the risk. So what we're looking at doing now is we still need to do this baseline work to build the system. You still got to build the system. And so we take the industry insights and knowledge that we have to build said system. Now, the way the contracts work is we do break the pricing up over a period of time. Oftentimes when we're building new systems, some of our contracts, a lot of our contracts are now hitting more like a 12-month contract because we're actually lifting a tangible new capability and system. But here's the catch. We, once this system is done, are then incentivized through the way of a commission, through the way of a pay per performance, that is far, far, far greater than the contract value at hand. So let me break that down. If a client is paying us $15,000 a month for us to build this system, well, they need to make that investment over a period of time for us to execute on the system. However, on the back end, let's just making up numbers here. Let's say that their average sale or their average monthly sales are around $100,000 and they believe that they can take it to $200,000 to digital marketing. Well, if I make 10% on those sales and I can attribute it back to my work, which by the way, that's another thing too. Well, how do you track it back? You can't track it back. If a digital marketing agency tells you that they can't track a conversion for you, that's your red flag as well too. Like they got to be able to track it back. And if they can't track it back, you're working with the wrong company. You're just working with the wrong company. So the agency has to say, okay, I need a plan to track back revenue to prove that we brought in that initial deal so we can collect on that commission, and we're transparent in this, and you guys agree and we have a happy partnership and relationship. So now if it's a 10,000 or if it's a 10% commission, now all of a sudden at the end of my contract, I'm incentivized to make $20,000 a month. And the faster I get there, the faster I start making that money. So what does that do to me as a company, as an agency owner? Well, if I do a year-long contract at $15,000 a month to build said system, knowing that once the system's built and said and done, on the back end of that system, I'm going to be able to actually start to execute and generating revenue, and I'm going to make another $5,000, a third of what the initial contract is on top of the contract. Well, I'm going to hustle my ass off to get that system built as fast as possible. I'm incentivized to do so. It's beneficial to you, the business owner, and it's also beneficial to me, the business owner. So I'm not going to drag heels for a year to just putz along and deliver back these vanity metrics because A, if I don't build the system in a year, I lose you as a customer, period. That's what I'm doing, right? Like I'm building something tangible. So if I don't build the system in a year, I lose you as a customer. Or worst case, if I show that I'm starting to do what most digital marketing agencies do, which is they start to taper off and start to do less and less work over time, that's going to be clear as day to my customers. And they're going to break contract earlier on. And guess what? We put in clauses into our contract to allow them to break. Wow, crazy idea, right? We're literally telling them it's okay. If this, because look, we get it too. Time changes, businesses change, things change. So now all of a sudden, if we're basing this on a product that we're going to sunset, and then everything changes and the company changes their direction and so on and so forth, they need a tangible out. But that's the goal here, that we have a better package on the back end if we achieve this package and build this system. Then we switch over to growth partner model. We forego our monthly fees, and now we're truly based on performance. So then what does that do? Well, if we built the system, you own the system, we do everything under your ownership. But if we build the system and it's our IP that's in there, well, we have 100% confidence we're going to make it profitable. So then it's going to be, well, where can we take this thing? What's the cap? Because every digital marketing campaign runs a bell curve where we go through a series of spending with a series of earnings. And at some point you saturate within any niche. At some point you can't spend any more on ad dollars to make more money for that particular product you've capped. So then you have to dial back the spending and find in what is that happy medium. And then it's maintaining and you're setting out new content and so on and so forth to avoid ad fatigue. That's the game that we play in. That incentivizes us to do more work and get those results faster because we make more money in doing so. And it's not by doing less resources or less time. It's simply by doing the right thing by the customer. That's why I'm out here saying, fuck digital marketing, fuck legacy digital marketing, abandon it. No wonder why cleaning industry, you have so much doubt that this stuff will work. No wonder why you and your successful companies are turning back the dials on digital marketing ad spend. I get it. You've been burned by this system for, God, a decade or more. I mean, you think about it, it's mind-blowing. That's the reason why agent or other industries that have not yet fully adopted digital marketing practices are like, we'll hold off. There's some other reasons in there, but this is a big one because they see the system. They're not stupid. They get it. And the truth is if we're going to make an impact on any industry, well, we got to make an impact on our industry first. It's kind of like Michael Jackson, the man in the mirror, right? And I've seen this firsthand in my own personal life. As soon as I started working more on who Danny Murawinski is and how I behave as a human being, as soon as I started to quit drinking, work out, get up early, stay more involved with politics, meeting more with people, like understanding things, like as soon as I started to focus in more on me, everything around me started to get better. My family life got better. My business got better. My relationships got better. Everything got better. Guess what? That's how we're going to win. That's how we're going to win this game with both of these industries, with the cleaning industry and with the government contracting industry, and then beyond. And it's by us looking inward first and realizing that our industry's fucked. And you're right. You're right. You have been burned, but no more. And we might be one of the first to come out and say we get it. And I think I'm definitely the first digital marketing agency out there that's going out there saying, fuck digital marketing. Because it's the truth, guys. Fuck the legacy digital marketing. It's time to sunset that old, antiquated business model that has not produced results for you. It's time to adopt a new business model that is literally incentivized to grow and make money with you and to get the work done as fast as possible because the reward is so much bigger on the back end. Isn't that how it all should work? Shouldn't it be a matter of work ethic and busting your ass to get the reward? It's plain and simple, guys. So I just wanted to share this message out there with everybody today. I know it's been a while since I've dropped a new podcast. If you can't tell, I'm fired up. There's been a lot of change and a lot of positive change and exit build in my life, and we're bringing this podcast back. I think it's time we start putting more content out there like this. And this is something you're going to see coming out of Exit Build. We're literally a campaign called Fuck Digital Marketing. It's a campaign that we're pushing out there to put our flag in the ground to say, hey, guess what? We see it, industry. We get it. We're the first to get it. And we're the first to say, fuck our industry. We're done milking it. We're done. And I think more companies like mine are going to fall in suit because not only is it the right thing to do, but there's a lot more money there. It's crazy to think, right? If you just do good, honest work by people and you're transparent in what you're doing and you believe in what you're doing, you make more money. Weird how that works, right? So that's what I have. That's the message. Fuck digital marketing. Fuck legacy agencies. Fuck the old business models. It's time to adopt some new ones. And at the bare minimum, guys, if you made it to this point of the episode and you're working with a digital marketing agency, go approach them. And right now, today, hit them up, hit the owner of that company up and say, hey, would you be open to foregoing your monthly retainer with us if we went on a pay-per-performance model? And again, if the answer is no, then they either believe that they can't do it or your system can't do it. And then that opens up a better question to then say, okay, well, if it's not today, then what can you do with the existing rate that we're already paying with you? At what point can you switch over to a pay-per-performance model? At what point have you done enough work to build that system that now you feel comfortable to make the money on? And again, if they can't give you a tangible answer on that, well, guys, maybe it's time to sunset that agency and move on. That's what I got for today. Thank you guys, and let's fucking get it.